Have you ever thought about the person, what the person is thinking who's cutting your hair? The person whose job it is to grope heads all day. I mean, they're seeing you at a pretty intimate point in your life, right? They get to see a lot about you in, this hour-long interaction. And, you could have a good time, have conversation, but when there's a lull or times when they're just doing their job, I wonder what's going through their head. It has to be just a life full of judgment of everybody's disgusting heads. I want to talk about haircuts. I want to talk about some of my experiences. I'm going to be getting some calls in from people about their experiences. And I'm going to be talking to a barber who reached out to me, who came up to me and offered to cut my hair. And it really was off-putting at first, but we made up and it was good. We had a good time afterwards. I have yet to get my hair, but in the near future, I'll get my hair cut. Okay. Let me start with the story about one of the most unique experiences I've had sitting in a barber's chair. I used to go to the same lady, basically every month at the same time. And this one particular day, I was in a hurry, could not wait, had to get my hair cut. And this lady, thankfully, was in biking distance of my house. So hop on my bike, race over there, and the door's locked. She's not there. And I'm kind of freaking out. It's really hot, so I'm also sweating a lot. I hop on my phone and I look up. Oh my gosh, there's another place right down the street. And so I called. They have availability. Perfect. I go, bike over there. And at this point, it's middle of the day. I'm like, I have to get this haircut because it's like something important. I think it was like a friend's wedding or something. I did not have a choice. Could not wait. And I was like flying on my bike and sweating a lot. So I get into the chair, and then, they throw the cape over you. And now I'm just like in a plastic bag, baking in this guy's chair, sweating. And it never occurred to me, like this person is touching my head and I'm like drenched in sweat. But maybe like 5 minutes into the cut, I feel like a blowing on my head, and it didn't like register at first, like maybe there's a fan on, and then I look in the mirror and this guy is blowing on my head to help cool my head off. And it was this really funny experience because it was like a level of customer service that I did not ask for, nor did I really want, but I completely understood, where he's coming from. He wanted me to stop sweating and sweating on him. And I think he got back at me by, it was this place where the wash bins were in front of you. So you didn't put your head back, or you go to a different location. It was right in front of you. So you just leaned your whole body down in half and they just washed your hair right in front of you. I remember he washed my hair after he cut it with bar soap. So I think he was the one that got the last laugh in that exchange. Getting a haircut these days can be kind of intimidating. I remember I went to a barbershop just to get my beard kind of trimmed. And the guy gave me kind of a stink about not wanting to cut it, or he never said no, I'm not going to do that, but made it clear he did not want to do this. And I was like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? You're giving me a hard time about wanting to get purchase a service that you're offering. And it's funny because I think there's a lot of tension between the barber and the customer. Guys are really particular about their haircuts. They want something specific. And there's a lot of guys out there not doing it right. There's a lot of barbers not offering good cuts. And so when the word kind of gets out about a certain person being really good, everybody flocks to them, wait times skyrocket, and they're always busy. And that's great, but there's no downtime. There's a lot of pressure on them to get it right, to do it quickly, to move on. And I think that's where the intimidation comes in, right? Like when you get in there, you better know exactly what you want and how it's going to, and all the people around you are judging you. And I really don't care about my hair. I don't care about that experience. I don't want to be being judged while I'm getting my haircut. I got to live with this thing after I leave the chair, right? And it's so funny that people are so judgy. I just don't, I don't get it. Let me do whatever I want. Let me order whatever I want. Like, it's your job. Yes, I know you're groping heads all day, but I don't know. Just like leave me alone. I know this is like touching people's heads all day has to be so like this Edward Scissorhands. It's got to be so frustrating. Come on, give me a break here.
When I was a child, my mom was convinced that if she had her do a boy's haircut for us, that will be just great because then she doesn't have to do the hassle with our hair. Because whenever she was styling it or blow drying it, we would, whine. And my mom one day had enough, and she's like, you know what? It's gonna be easier for everyone if you have a boy's haircut. Back then, my dad used to go to a hairstylist. My mom would have him take me and my sister there, where they did the men's haircut. We wouldn't get like a nice girly haircut that we would like. We looked like little boys. Until this day, I dream with this story where I wake up and my hair is cut. And I didn't agree to that, but like I wake up with short hair and overnight someone cut my hair.
That's so hilarious that talk about a terrible cut, right? Okay, let me tell you about another experience I had with a barber. I am walking past this guy in an outdoor mall kind of setting, and he's got a bag in his hands, and he sets it down, and he comes up to me, and he presents his business card. And I'm like, dude, at the time, what the hell is wrong with you? It's a pandemic, and I don't know you. What are you doing? You're just trying to make a sale? This is the thing that you're going to do? And I immediately say no, but his pitch is, I specialize in long hair. And in an instant, I went from no, hell no, get away from me, murderer, to, okay, somebody's going to have to be able to manage this. They're going to have to know what they're doing, this hair that I've got. And I want to make sure that it's somebody who claims they specialize in cutting long hair. So in an instant, I'm like, hell no, to, all right, I'll take your card. So he gives me his card, and I'm expecting some total piece of trash, but it wasn't. It was this really nice, clean plastic card. It looked like a credit card. On the front, it's just the name, and on the back, contact information by appointment only. So I'm really intrigued by this guy, right? He not only did he risk my life to make this sale, to present this card to me, but he actually spent the time and the money. Like, this thing is going in the trash. More often than not, people's cards are going in the trash where they belong. But this person spent the time and energy to come up and approach me. And I thought, well, if this card looks like this, his business must, be top notch. And so it really intrigued me. And I wanted to get to know a little bit more about this guy before I committed. And I thought, is this true? The card looks nice. Now let's hear a little bit more from this guy and see if everything else is kind of backed up by, he's walking the walk. I wanted to see if he was going to walk the walk. It's a nice card, but is going to be full of shit. So I called him up, and here's my conversation with him. Let me go to, sorry, I'm not ready here. I got to pull it up. La, 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 la. Do you remember any bad haircuts you've ever had? Tell me a bad haircut that you've gotten. Maybe one from when you were a kid, but better would be a story from when you were an adult and it really mattered. Leave a comment with a terrible haircut that you've gotten. Okay. Ooh, am I going to be able to listen to this? I want to hear your terrible haircut story. So while I'm pulling this up, leave me a comment of a terrible haircut experience that you had. Okay, I guess I have to download all these. This is going to be a cut for sure. Here we go. All right, here's my conversation with Craigie. Because I wanted to know a little bit more about this person. What are they thinking? Putting the time and energy into the stupid card that is definitely most of the time going in the trash. What This person, I'm intrigued by this person. All right, let's hear this conversation.
So as a barber and a stylist, and I am really enthralled by what I do. Like, it's an opportunity to teach people like how to have a cathartic experience with something that they often turn into a chore. Especially men have a habit of looking at a haircut as just something to tick off the list. I get this great opportunity of introducing a more cathartic aspect of it, and to be like an uplifting person in people's lives, and like really help them to appreciate when they start getting compliments on their look, to really appreciate and feel good about themselves in a way that maybe a lot of people out there have never had a compliment on their hair. And it's just mind-blowing because you don't have to have the most incredible mane in order to get a compliment. Everybody needs a little affirmation in their life.
I thought it was super random to be approached by a stranger and offered a haircut. But Craig let me know it was kind of his thing. You know, this is not the first time he's done this.
I feel like personal invitation is always best. I feel like partially it's that I was raised with that. My father is a wealth manager. And so his job entailed convincing people to hand over like $500,000 to him. And for them to feel like he cared as much about their success and growth and mapping out their future and mapping out the plan to pass their well-being down to their kids and like their legacy. And so he was like engaged with building relationships, building rapport. And that always stood out to me and had a big impact on me.
Can you imagine your son cuts hair and you manage people? Like, I guess it's kind of like a social wealth, right? People's looks. People got to look good. And if you can do that and they can trust you, that's pretty cool. And the impact that had on him and having that personal touch and his dad's like building a rapport with people obviously made an impact on him, but it made a huge impact on me. Like him doing that made me stop and say, oh, like take notice, you know? And he told me like it works a lot of the time. Like it works super well for him.
When you put the extra effort into it and like really present something polished and do it with the real excitement to share what you're doing with somebody, the return is there. I'm definitely returning on my cards. And that's been a huge blessing. Like in terms of like impactful marketing, that's really where I don't think you can spend your money any better when it comes to marketing.
And that was the thing that kind of got me, right? It was the fact that he had a nice card. I assumed that he probably had a nice business knowing that he's spending all this money on these cards. But that personal touch really stood out to me. Yeah, our chat ended with him telling me about the COVID safety measures and how he's pretty thankful, pretty happy with having these things in place.
And I'm actually personally taking it as a net positive that we get to wear masks because season after season, we've had to deal with people coming in right after workout. Oh, I'm not sick, it's just allergies and like having a temperature just worked out or whatever. And you run hot after you like go for a run. And this isn't considered, I don't want your sweaty hair on me all day. I don't want somebody filthy, sweaty hair, like literally like all across my eyes. It's uncomfortable. But it's nice now that I don't have to worry about the flu or any of these like different things because I can have that bar of entry more socially acceptable. And I did in the past, but I get blowback. And now I don't have to worry about the blowback of wearing a mask and asking somebody to come in with a certain amount of respect for me and my business and my health and like my client's health. So that's pretty sick. Like having a little baby at home, I want to keep her safe too.
I thought it was so funny that he brought that up. I could not believe that. And I was totally ashamed because I never even considered what the person cutting my hair is thinking or going through at all. It never occurred to me. And it's because this is something that we do as kids. We're taken as kids to get our hair cut. And from an early age, I think there's always another authority figure kind of calling the shots for you. And then when it's your turn to call the shots, it's still this really weird thing where I want to take control, but I'm trying to translate, the person that's cutting my hair has to translate the thing that I want. Even if I'm showing a picture, there's still a little bit of like, well, your hair doesn't exactly do that. So I'm going to try to work it and make it look as close as possible. But it never occurred to me to think And Craig really opened my eyes to the importance of treating this person with respect, because my sweaty hair was going to be on this person all day. And so while, maybe washing my hair with bar soap isn't the worst thing that could have happened, I feel like I probably got what was coming to me. Let's take a call here.
I cut a girl's hair way too short into this horrible bob that she wanted just like a regular, like shoulder length bob, maybe a little shorter. And I cut it like to her ear because I hated her. It's the only time I've ever done anything like that where I was like, I hate you, so I'm going to make you ugly. But she was being awful in the chair, and I just kept cutting and cutting and cutting. And then I was like, it's so cute and perfect. I love this on you, even though it was like a very Mean Girls moment for me. It was like a straight line of hair from earlobe to earlobe. I was almost like avant-garde. It was the dumbest haircut I think I've ever given anyone. I was so proud of myself, too.
Oh, my gosh. It could have been so much worse. So next time you're sitting in the chair, treat these people with respect, because they're going to be sitting in your hair all day thinking deeply about what they could potentially do to you and not being able to do it. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening to this episode about haircuts. Like I said, I want to hear your terrible cut stories, or share a photo with me. That'd be great. So you can find me at the IC on Instagram. And I think my YouTube is the IC Marketing or something like that. ICTV maybe? I should find that out. Thanks.